Choosing colours is obviously a big part of the craft of painting icons. I have been thinking about how we choose our colours. My hunch is that we operate on a mixture of intuition and following the choices made by the artist who painted the icon that we've chosen as our model. Even the choice of our model will probably have considered the colour combinations that appeal to us. Some commentators like the idea that certain colours convey certain meanings, and I guess they will make their choices based on those ideas. But some icons also have colour conventions, and that will dictate what colours will be chosen. For example, most icons of Christ Pantocrator have Jesus wearing two garments. The inner one is painted in red and the outer one in blue. I've been looking at the icons of a few modern icon artists to examine their colour choices just to see if there are any patterns that emerge in their choices. And the colour wheel has been my point of reference. The iconographers I have chosen are Julia Bridget Hayes from the Greek tradition and Philip Davidov and Olga Shalomova from the Russian Church. Well, firstly, a reminder of the makeup of the colour wheel. The three primary colours, red, yellow and blue, and combining these in pairs give us three different secondary colours, purple, orange and green, and warming or cooling each of these secondary colours gives us 6 tertiary colours. So, here's what I discovered. So we start with an icon by Julia Hayes, and she has chosen for her background orange, for the border more orange but a darker version. For her garment, the outer garment is in the blue segment, and in the undergarment is in the purple segment. Notice the tradition of the blue and the red for Christ Pantocrator. So segments that these come from look like this. Noteworthy is the orange and the blue that are complementary. They are opposites on the colour wheel, and opposites tend to stand out, and halfway between is the purple segment. I wonder if that's a pattern for Julia Hayes. Now, I've also included in these images the warm-cool divide, just to see how much warm and cool is included on each of the icons. It doesn't indicate the area of how much is cool and how much is warm, just the number of segments from each of them, just to say. Another of Julia Hayes of St. Kentigern, and this is a warm orange or a cool red for the background and a darker version for the border, and going into the orange area for the book, but also for the background of the garments, the shading of the garments. And the highlights of the garments are a cooler blue. And again, we'll notice that there is opposite, complementary but beside the redder colour is that orange. It's kind of subservient to the rest of it. It's really underpainting for the garment, and there it sits. It's got a feature on the book. The warm cool divide. Another of Julia Hayes. This is obviously very blue, background and border, but orange for the jug, and also for the underpainting of the white garment, and highlight for the main garment is a paler version of the blue. And here we get just straight complementary colours, straight opposites. It's obviously very cool. Well, she's a very cool saint. Julia Hayes again. Orange, paler version for the highlights. Blue, and there are two tones of blue here. There's the pale, and then there are those stripy bits and shadowy bits again. So there's that pattern again of the opposites, and then the purple in split in the middle. Again, the warm-cool divide. But Davidov has painted this cool version of the Holy Trinity. Obviously lots of blue, background, garments, all different tones of the same blue. And then this warm version of the orange for the top of the table, but orange for the furnishings. In darker versions of that for the halo, you can also see it in the wings. So two complementary colours, the orange and the blue, and then that warm orange tabletop really stands out. This is another of Julia Hayes, and this one is quite remarkable. There's lots of blue, and then there's this red, and there's this purple, and there's this highlight in the purple, and there's this orange. So again, there's that pattern of Julia Hayes of having complementary colours and splitting the difference with the purple, but then there's that angel that is skewed to a warm version of the orange. Another Philip Davidov, red and blue. Well, a warm orange and blue, and more orange or red, and more blue, and more red. And here is the red and the blue. They're not complementary, just offset. And red and blue do work well together. That's why Christ Pantocrator, red and blue. Philip Davidov again, lots of green this time, green and dark green, and the warm orange, and a warm blue, and more warm blue but paler, and more green but very pale, and we get complementary. We nearly get two complementaries, the warm blue and the cool orange, but then we get an almost red. It's a warm orange and green. And Olga Shalomova, she paints English saints. And here we have blue and orange and darker orange, straight complementary colours. And Saint Edward is warm orange, more warm orange but pale, dark warm orange, and nothing else except for a sort of a very, very off-white for the border and the halo, sort of neutral. So there we have our colour wheel, and examining our colours and our icons against the wheel to see if there are any patterns. And there are. So what is our takeaway from all this? We will probably continue to rely on our intuitive appreciation of colour and colour combinations for choosing a palette for our icons. However, we can assist our choosing task by spending time with a colour wheel and confining our choices to 2 or 3 segments of the wheel. Remember, there are a lot of tonal choices within any one segment on the wheel. So it's worth considering, isn't it?